What's up guys, SkittleRampage here. So today I wanted to highlight how well Funko is doing right now. It's very easy to talk about the bad, but I wanted to highlight some of the good. So let's check it out. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're enjoying your day. So I kind of just wanted to talk about the state of Funko again today. I think the last time I did one of these videos was roughly 2-ish months ago, and I figured it was time for an update because they're actually doing pretty well right now. Now, before we jump into our topic, we do have our question of the day, and I like to ask this question pretty much in every one of these videos just to see if answers change or just to see new perspectives, and that is, if you worked at Funko, or if you were the CEO of Funko, for example, what is something that you would personally change that you think would help the company? All right, guys, so the way to explain as to why Funko is doing well right now, we have to dip into the past. So if you've been paying attention to their stock in the last few months, you'll notice that it's crashed a couple times. So I'm taking you back to the pandemic days here, for example. Around the pandemic days, they were stimulating the economy like crazy, okay? And then there was a high demand for Funko products, which led to a surge of Funko just producing and producing and producing. At the same time, the global shipping chain was just broken. It was broken. Nothing was getting anywhere on time. And this led to late shipping, tons of storage fees, which was actually a big contribution as to why Funko was bleeding so much money. Now, these late shipments were a big contribution as to why Funko was bleeding so much money. For example, these late shipments not getting to these big box stores like Walmart, Target, Amazon, all these other places that ordered in stock from them, they got fed up, they didn't want to reorder any more Funko Pops, Funko gets stuck with the stock. Now they can't sell it, it's sitting in their warehouse that's already overflowing, mind you. So Funko ends up having to rent extra storage, and all that is now costing them even more money. Literally millions of dollars it was costing Funko to store all this stuff that nobody wanted. And that's where we came to the situation where you saw all these articles, content creators like myself creating videos where Funko was destroying Funko Pops in landfills. $30 million worth of Funko Pops. And how they came to that decision was basically it was more expensive to store these Funko Pops than just destroying them. Now, obviously, this caused an uproar amongst the Funko community, fans, other people who weren't even Funko collectors, not understanding why Funko didn't just donate these rather than destroy them, add more plastic to the environment, etc., etc. Everybody had their argument as to why this was a terrible thing Funko was doing. But at the same time, this was a business strategic move that made sense for the business. Whether it's right or wrong, that's not for me to determine. It was smarter for them to destroy this product and write it off as a loss to get a huge tax benefit versus just storing it and keeping it. Now, to put it into perspective for you guys as to just how much stock Funko had, they reported that they were sitting on $250 million worth of stock, and that was actually a 50% increase in stock from the previous year. That's insane. And given none of the smaller companies or bigger companies would purchase any of this stock from Funko, even at a discount, might I add. They were doing heavy discount to these big box stores and small vendors, and they still didn't want it. Now, them offering discounts to their partners wasn't the only thing they tried to implement. They also had a huge warehouse sale over in Arizona where they were trying to clear a bunch of stock. They were even wholesaling stock to all kinds of different chains of retailer stores like Burlington, Five Below, Ollie's, and so much more. Now, granted, even just destroying product wasn't enough. They even cut 10% of their workforce. You might have seen a ton of videos and articles and a lot of the Funko community talking about that Funko fired a good majority of their staff. Now, that pretty much sums up a lot of the big stuff that happened and a lot of the decisions they made that led to a bad earnings call that tanked down their stock. And of course, you tack on all the bad press from the media that this situation was getting, and it only made it worse for their stock. So as you can see, between the pandemic and them producing so many unwanted Funko Pops, it put them in a really big pickle. Now, you're probably wondering, how could they possibly be doing well at this point after everything I just mentioned? Because so many people were convinced that Funko was going to die after this latest fiasco. So many people sold their collections, so many people quit the hobby. But again, they're actually doing pretty well right now. Their stock, at the time of me making this video, is $12 and some change. And that's a pretty big increase just in the last month. So obviously you're wondering, what did they do to make their stock increase and put them in the green again? Well, they're not in the green, but they're doing better. So recently in their Q1 earnings report, the whole market was expecting them to announce the fact that they lost a ton of money, basically lost a certain amount, and that was either going to make their stock go down or make it stay the same essentially. But they actually surprised everybody, and their stock jumped 22% the other day due to the fact that they reported less losses than anticipated. Now, multiple things are contributing to this. As I mentioned before, they are dumping $30 million worth of product, and that came with a huge tax credit and probably made them pay less taxes essentially. And at the same time, it freed up a bunch of storage space, so they knocked down some of the storage costs they were paying. The other thing they did, and as bad as it is, they cut 10% of their workforce, so basically they're not paying all those salaries. And probably the biggest contribution to them making more money is their direct-to-consumers approach here. So about a year ago, they announced that they were going to try to get more direct-to-consumer income. And basically what that means is when you go on Funko's website now, you see Hot Topic exclusives, Walmart exclusives, Child's Collectibles exclusives, Target, everywhere else pretty much that sells Funko Pops and gets exclusives. They are now on Funko's website, and that's what direct-to-consumer means. They are cutting out the middleman in the situation, which would be all of these big companies, and putting the stock directly on their website, and sometimes even undercutting these companies, selling it for less on their website, so they're getting the sale instead of Target in this situation, for example. And with them doing this direct-to-consumer approach, it's actually making them a lot more money. So from a business standpoint, it's actually really smart what they're doing here. But if you look at it from a collector standpoint, it doesn't make sense that these stores are even getting exclusives in the first place. I don't really understand the point of Funko even giving out exclusives anymore. At that point, everything should just be exclusive to Funko, you know? Because if you don't know, from what I last heard, you have to sell $2 million worth of Funko product to get your own exclusive. So imagine selling all those Funko products, doing all that work, working super hard for maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes. They give you your exclusive, and then they throw it on their website for $5 cheaper than you. I think if I was a partner with Funko in that situation, I'd be pretty upset with them because they're basically undercutting the market to steal the sale from them. Of course, though, again, as I mentioned, I understand this also from their point of view. This is what's making them the most money. This is what's making them a lot of money. So it just makes sense. Sorry guys, I had to take off the hoodie because I started to sweat because these studio lights just make it incredibly warm in here sometimes. But anyways, I think some other things that were contributing to Funko making more money was their Funko NFT line. Obviously, those are pretty much sellouts every single time nearly. We've had a couple scenarios where some haven't sold out and they've destroyed some packs. But for the most part, they make a lot of money on those NFT packs, and they're basically just selling you digital images. And on top of the fact that every single redeemable is super limited, so they're not producing many pops in this situation. Something else I wanted to highlight that I felt like increased sales exponentially was the really great pops they've been putting out left and right this year. Obviously, we've had some of our burner kind of shelf warmers, but for the most part, in the 5 months of this year so far, they put out some crazy stuff. Here's some of the Star Wars they put out just for 2023, and a lot of people have loved these designs of what they put out. Next, we have a couple miscellaneous items like the Stranger Things moment that was a huge success. We had the Gryffindor cover for Harry Potter, Michael Jackson Funko Pops, Wednesday Funko Pops were selling out left and right. We had another very successful Dungeons & Dragons Cube exclusive, the new Transformers Pops, we had a bunch of new ad icons like Chuck E. Cheese, a whole new wave of Indiana Jones Pops, which was very successful. For DC, we had a couple cool things from the Flash line and a couple cool molds overall from DC Comics, but I feel like with DC, it's been a little lackluster this year for DC so far for some reason. I don't really know what's going on. Like, Marvel's doing some crazy things, but DC just feels like they haven't been paying too much attention to it. While over at Marvel, they've been dominating the molds. We had the Baby Rocket, which was very popular amongst fans, especially after the movie. King Venom was really awesome. Spider-Man has just been dominating things left and right. A really cool Ant-Man mold. We had the comic covers that have been very successful. We also had the brand new Matt Murdock Funko Pop that everybody loved. The Facet Funko Pop line, which seems to be doing pretty decently for them overall. Even Disney has been pretty nuts this year. Like, they literally started off in January with this insane Lion King moment of Simba, Pumbaa, and Timon. Everybody loves that thing. We also had a really cool Tangled boat scene moment, a bunch of new Walt Disney Funko Pops, Hannah Montana, which was just a crazy reveal, Peter Pan, Lilo and Stitch, Oswald, Minnie Mouse. Like, Disney has also been going nuts. So much great stuff. And the last set of pops I wanted to mention was anime. Anime has just been dominating left and right. Like, they know that it sells well, and that's why they've been pushing it out so much. We've gotten so many new pops from so many different animes this year already, it's just overwhelming. Like, the One Piece drop alone was crazy during Funko Fair. And here's some examples of some of the crazy stuff they've dropped this year, like Naruto Baryon mode is amazing, Minato KCM mode, Obito, like everybody's so excited about Obito. Eustace Kid is a huge Comic-Con exclusive that everybody still wants right now. Zoro, we also had some crazy Pokemon ones like Arcanine. We finally got a Haikyuu Funko Pop announcement. Buggy the Clown is an insane mold, along with Polar Tang, Tanjiro. Demon Slayer was a huge hit with Rengoku and some more of the Hashira. We also finally had Trigun Funko Pops, brand new Jujutsu Kaisen exclusive with chases, Snake Man Luffy, Trunks with the Spirit Sword, Inuyasha, Whitebeard was a crazy character to see that was selling out left and right, Goku Kaioken, more Inuyasha. Like, again, guys, they have released so many crazy anime molds this year. Like, I could keep going and going and going. I feel like anime is just dominating everything. So if you're watching this video for any reason, Funko, I think you need to pay attention to some of the other lines and give them some love. Like, seriously, I need a break from anime. Another really great thing I just mentioned, while it is really late to the game of them doing this, is that they just announced their fan rewards program where we're finally going to get some money back from all the purchases. And that's another really good thing that they're implementing this year. So all I'm saying is, in this situation right now, it's good to cut them some slack because they're trying to make changes to do a little bit better. Now, granted, heavy emphasis on a little bit of slack. They obviously still need to change a lot of things they are doing and stop overproducing so much that nobody seemingly asked for. At the same time, though, we gotta give credit where it's due. So in summary, while Funko isn't doing perfect by any means right now, they're doing much better than they were before. They announced that they were going to try new things and implement a bunch of new things, cut back a little bit, and they seem to be doing that. As their stock is up a good percentage, they've been releasing crazy molds left and right, and I really hope they continue to be on this path so they can just be very successful. All right, guys, so those are all my thoughts on the current state of Funko right now. Feel free to drop a comment down below. How do you guys feel about Funko right now? Are you happy with the molds they're producing? Are you mad at the molds they're producing? Is there anything that they could change that would make you a much happier collector? I would love to hear from you guys and what you guys think of Funko right now. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button down below if you did enjoy, and subscribe and click that notification bell if you're new here. To end off the video, I do want to say a big shout out to all the amazing Patreon supporters of the channel. You guys rock for supporting myself and the channel. If you guys want to check out the Patreon, the link is down below. We have a Patreon-only Discord where we share a lot of information, news, restocked updates, links, and more. We also have a Facebook group with over 17,000 members that's buy, sell, and trade. And make sure to be following me on all my social medias at SkittleRampage over on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and my Facebook page so you can stay up to date. All right, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.